Hi, Brendan here with another episode of Coach Gee TV. What sets investors up for failure? Poorly constructed or poorly engineered portfolios. And I got the idea for today's show based on when I opened up my computer today. I turned on the internet, I saw the news information. Down the bottom, I saw information about the stock market. What was the information about? It was about the S&P. The S&P 500, it was about the NASDAQ, and it was about the Dow Jones. And I thought, therein lies a very big problem. You might not even notice it, but therein lies a very big problem for investors. And again, it leads to poorly constructed behaviors. And this is what I mean by this. From January 2000 December 2017, if all we did was think about the stock market in terms of U.S. large company stocks, which is what the media focuses in on most of the time, we would see in total the S&P returned 157%. And we might think, wow, we did really good for ourselves if we started out January 2000 and we're up 157%. But again, there's a problem from here. We get a very narrow focus or a very narrow definition of what the market is, and it winds up hurting us in the long run. Again, if I look strictly U.S., I have no understanding or no awareness, if you will, of large value stocks. Again, another type of security. That did, in the same period of time, it did 224%. Emerging markets, again, 368%. My 157% doesn't look so good in comparison to just these two different asset classes. International Small Index did 397. Again, I'm missing out on a lot of returns if all I focus in on is the S&P 500. Dimensional Emerging Markets did 549% in the same period of time. And the Dimensional Emerging Markets Value did 610, again, as opposed to 157%. So again, here's what happens. Investors are only aware of, I think about investing in terms of the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P 500. We load up. When we analyze portfolios, they're loaded up on S&P U.S. large company stocks. They're missing out on these rates of return that we need in order to meet our goals for retirement and educating our children and so forth. So again, we miss out on a lot of returns. The other thing is people, again, they put 40, 50, 60% all in U.S. large company stocks. 2008, 2002, the market took a beating. Why did it take a beating? Why did investors take a beating? All their money was sitting here in U.S. large company stocks. Again, what happens and what leads to poorly constructed or poorly engineered portfolios is a very narrow definition of the market. This is just a small sampling of the different kinds of stocks that are out there. But again, investors focus in solely on those. They wind up with poorly diversified, poorly engineered portfolios. They set themselves up to fail. Thank you.